So what happens after we die? I mean, for millennia, that's been the ultimate question of faith and mystery, right? But today, we're not looking at it that way. We're going to approach this like it's a technical manual, exploring a system with rules, procedures, and very specific mechanics, all drawn from ancient Hindu texts.
So let's just reframe this whole thing from the get-go. What if death is less like a final curtain call and more like a program executing? A systematic transfer of your data and energy from one state to another. That's the core idea we're going to unpack.
And hey, this isn't just my take on it. This quote from our source material really sets the tone. We're looking at a framework where death is basically an engineering problem, not a philosophical one. There's no fluff here, it's all about the mechanics.
Okay, let's dive right in. To really get what happens after death, first we have to understand the process of dying itself. And it's not like flipping a switch. It's actually a sequential shutdown procedure. According to the Upanishads, the life force, what they call prana, pulls back in a really specific order. The elements that make up your physical body dissolve back into each other. First, the body feels incredibly heavy, almost immovable. Then comes this great thirst as the body's fluids start to dry up. After that, body heat just fades away. And finally, the breath itself becomes labored, severing that final connection to the physical world. It's like a controlled demolition. Now, as all these physical systems are shutting down one by one, there's this absolutely crucial detail that texts point out. Hearing is the very last sense to go, and this has a direct, practical implication. It's the technical reason why so many traditions insist on chanting or speaking into the ear of the dying. Even when someone seems totally unconscious, that channel of sound is believed to still be wide open. So if the body is just a machine shutting down, what is the you that keeps going? Well, here's the key. You're not just one single thing. You're actually a multi-layered entity, and believe it or not, only one of those layers actually dies. Let's break down this anatomy.
First, you've got the gross body. This is the hardware, the physical vehicle, flesh and bone. At death, this part is dropped. Done. It returns to the elements. This is the end of the line for the body, and only the body.
Next up is the subtle body. Think of this as your personal software. It's your mind, your memories, your personality, all your desires. When the hardware shuts down, this is the hard drive that gets unplugged. It doesn't die. It just attaches and carries all of your data with it. This is the part of you that continues the journey. And then, deepest of all, is the causal body. This is like the master archive, the deep storage of all your karmic data across every single lifetime. It travels with that subtle body and basically acts as the fuel tank, determining the trajectory and the destination of your onward journey. So how is that trajectory decided? It's by something called karma residue, or vasanas. Now, this isn't some moral scorecard. It's more like a property of physics. Your entire lifetime of actions, thoughts, and desires creates a specific density or frequency for your subtle body. Heavy residues, like anger and attachment, literally make the soul sink. Lighter residues, like peace and wisdom, make it float.
All right, so the physical body has shut down. The subtle body, carrying all its karmic residue, has detached. So what happens right then? Let's look at the immediate aftermath, the moments, hours, and days right after death.
Okay, so immediately after death, the soul enters this temporary, really disoriented state called prita, and this is the technical definition of a ghost. The subtle body is now cut off from all physical senses, but it still has the memory and the intense craving for physical things, like food and water. This creates this state of pretty intense suffering, like a burning hunger and thirst that you just can't satisfy. And this part is kind of a danger zone. See, normally, this ghost state is brief, but certain glitches can cause the soul to get stuck. A sudden or violent death can leave the soul confused and angry. A really deep attachment to worldly things can make it just refuse to leave. The source also says that a lack of proper funeral rites, which are seen as energy-guiding technologies here, can leave it wandering. And what's really fascinating is that excessive, uncontrollable grief from loved ones can actually act like a tether, holding the soul to the earth plane.
Okay, so assuming the soul makes it through that initial phase, it arrives at a major fork in the road. It's a cosmic crossroads with two very distinct paths, and the route you end up on is determined by the life you just lived.
As you can see, there are two main options. First, there's the solar path. This is the express lane, a one-way trip for souls who lived with incredible spiritual discipline. They don't come back. Then, there's the lunar path, and this is the route for, well, almost everyone else. It's a cosmic recycling loop, a journey to the realm of the ancestors that ultimately leads right back here.
Now, before we look at the next part, I want to make this really clear because it's a huge distinction. In this framework, heaven and hell are not permanent addresses. They are temporary stops along that lunar path. Think of them as cosmic processing centers for karma.
This table breaks it down perfectly. Hell, or Naraka, isn't about punishment, it's about purification. It's a place to burn off that heavy, negative karmic residue until the debt is paid. And heaven, or Svarga, is like a vacation resort where you get to enjoy the fruits of your good karma. But it's kind of a trap because you're just spending down your positive balance. Once your credit runs out, you're sent back. Both places lead to the exact same result: rebirth on Earth.
So, for the vast majority of souls traveling that lunar path, the journey eventually leads back here. But how does a disembodied soul get back into a physical body? Well, the process is described as this stunningly biological sequence.
This whole thing is called the doctrine of the five fires. And get ready for this. The soul descends back to Earth, attached to moisture, literally falling as rain. It's then absorbed by plants, a man eats that plant, and the soul is eventually assimilated into his semen. Then, through intercourse, it's transferred to a woman's womb where it finally gets locked into a new developing embryo. It's an absolutely wild journey from the cosmos all the way to conception.
But this whole selection process is not random at all. Your karmic residue, that unique frequency we talked about, it acts like a magnet. It's drawn to a specific sperm and egg combination that provides the perfect genetic and environmental setup for your karma to play out. So in short, you are vibrationally matched to your parents.
So we've just mapped out this entire cosmic system of death, travel, processing, and rebirth. But you have to wonder, what's the point of it all? Is there an exit ramp? Well, according to the texts, the entire goal of this journey is to eventually get off the ride for good. This whole system, this great cosmic recycling program we've just laid out, is called samsara, and it's ultimately seen as a wheel of suffering. Not because it's evil or anything, but because it guarantees repeated loss, repeated pain, and repeated death, lifetime after lifetime.
The escape hatch is called moksha, or liberation. This is what happens when that karmic residue is completely zeroed out. No more attachments, no more cravings, nothing. The individual consciousness, that subtle body, realizes it was never really separate to begin with, and just dissolves back into the universal source. It's like a drop of water returning to the ocean. This is the one-way ticket off the wheel. There is no return.
So if we take this whole framework as a technical manual, it leads us to a final and very personal question. If every thought, every desire, and every action is actively creating the karmic residue that determines your density, your frequency, and your ultimate trajectory, what kind of journey are you engineering for yourself, right here, right now?